morning, everyone. This is GrandDungeonDad here, looking at a new video game with everybody. It's called Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen. It's a new one for me. I just started playing it recently, and I'm really enjoying it. And I wanted to share with you guys. So the thing this game really reminds me of is EverQuest. The class structure is similar to EverQuest in a lot of ways. You have humans, elves, halfling, ogre, dwarf, and dark mirror for the races. As of right now, there's room for 3 more. I know gnomes are on the way; they're not here yet. Um, Classes, you have a ton of classes. You have warrior, monk, cleric, rogue, wizard, enchanter, shaman, ranger, paladin, dire lord, summoner, and necromancer. I know druid is in the works. I'm not sure what other classes they're going to add, but definitely druid is in the works right now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, soon to be 13 classes. As far as your appearance goes, it's pretty basic. There's not a lot to it. You have a few different hairstyles over here, hair color, facial hair color. That's pretty much it. So let's go back out of here because I'm not looking to create a new character just yet. And I want to get in here and show you my Necromancer a little bit because I've been playing with it for a while. It's pretty much been eating up the majority of my free time lately. Um, but Necromancer is really cool. You have a specific set of skills that you get at different levels. So like at level 1, I started out with Induce Nausea. Um, In fact, I think when you very first start out, I'm sorry, let me roll that back. When you very first start, I think the only skill you have potentially is Induce Nausea, I believe. So these skill tips here are not accurate. But as you level up, I guess the point of me opening the skill book was to show you as you level up, your skills level up with you. So for example, I currently have a skill called Life Draw. The beginning of that skill, the unevolved version, is Life Tap, which you do not get at level 1. I don't remember exactly when you do get this for the first time, but you don't get it I don't believe you get it at level 1. Frail Shielding is another example. Frail Shielding, that's the first example of this, but I have Weak Shielding. So as you go up in levels, Life Tap will become Life Draw, and Frail Shielding will become Weak Shielding, which is a higher level, higher value spell. And then you'll get other unique skills around the way. Eventually, those will probably get new levels too, but I don't have those. Like, I don't have the next level of like Calm on Death, for example. I have a bunch of these different attribute drain and absorb skills. The second level of it, the evolved version, is the absorb version of it. Right now, I have absorb strength on my bar, just because for groups, taking strength away from mobs is a good idea. It helps reduce the damage the tank is taking a little bit. So that's just a little overview of how skills work. I will do a video with a starting character, and I will go through building a character and all that. I just wanted to show you guys this character for today. Also to wish everybody a happy new year. I know this is my first video in 2025, so hope everybody's doing well so far this year. Trump won, yay. Yeah, hope everybody's doing good. So to start out with, we'll go ahead and just do a quick attack on this bear. Curse of Pain, we'll slow it. So the Curse of Pain on, I can like literally have my mob come back, and I can just run it around. And he's too slow to catch me. See, he's rooted. And then eventually he will expire. If a mob gets too close, I do have a 5-second fear I can use just to keep him off of me. But yeah, I want to go through the basically how the skeleton works, how your pet works a little bit, and then one of the bugs I discovered with it. So stay tuned for that, and we'll jump into that. You have a skeletal mob just like you do in EQ. He has at level your character level 12. Your next skeleton skill will be a level 14 skeleton under assemble bones, and that skeleton will have a taunt. If you look at the skeleton, the pet pane here, you can put gear on your pet, and that gear will modify your pet. However, as you can see right now, none of those modifications are showing. Well, there's a bug. Unfortunately, there's a bug right now. I've got a shield but no block rating. I've got armor and stuff on with no armor rating. Nothing is being applied. So, I'll show you guys something. Little trick here. So since none of my stuff is being applied, we're going to dump a couple mats just to make room here. So, you know what? We'll drink some cider. And that way we can put this stuff over here. We'll do that. So I have an empty bag. So now I'm going to take all of my gear off of my skeleton. All of it. All my gear off my skeleton. Okay. So now I've taken all the gear off my skeleton. Now, if I dismiss my skeleton, I can resummon it, but it does cost a bone fragment. And as of right now, I mean, I have a few bone fragments. Those are actually not the same thing. I'm just going to delete those. They don't serve any purpose, really. So yeah, I've got 3 left. So I need to go harvest some skeletons for more bone fragments. But the point is, if I resummon my skeleton, and I bring the pet menu up, watch these stats as I add items. So I'm going to go to my armor pane here first, defensive pane, because I want to see what my armor does. So if I put that on, no improvement. So that slot does not grant armor class. If I put this on though, my helmet's granting 142. So for some reason the chest is not granting any armor class. If I put the belt on, I get 3 armor class. Well, that's right, because it's 3 armor. So there's some confusion here for me as to what's going on with the armor. So now if I go to put my gloves on, where are they at? Here. No improvement, no armor class. However, when I put this cap on, which had 1 strength point, now it shows 5. So I'm wondering if the base strength is 4 and it added 1, but I don't know. It's really weird. Now, I have a strength on this hammer too. If I add the hammer, now my strength goes up 1, right? I have 1 strength on my bracers. If I put the bracers on, up. Now my strength went up to 7, and the bracers added a little bit of armor class. So it counted the armor class of the bracers. Now if I put the shoulders on, no armor class improvement, no nothing. Just like with the chest plate. Which ironically, the chest plate has the most armor of everything on my model. 17 armor class. Or 17 armor, but it's added nothing to the model's armor class. So now, if I put the shield up, note currently I have 0 block value. Now I have 13%. So, as you can see, when you first put the gear on, after relogging, it's on there. But before you dismiss your pet, before your pet disappears and reappears from having to move, you have to remove the gear and put it back on. So even your pet just teleporting to you will wipe out all these stat benefits right now in the pane. So it's kind of a pretty big bug for the Necromancer pet, and it's something that needs to be fixed. It's something that needs to be looked at. I don't know if anybody's really noticing this or looking at this in depth, but it's an issue. Because all of this gear helps my pet. And the thing is, if you're not going to let me tank, then you wouldn't have a taunt on my pet. And you wouldn't allow it to use equipment. That's the benefit of the Necromancer pet, is it can use equipment. And also, it's got these little improvements like this 10% attack speed. So, pretty cool, right? I mean, the Necromancer pet, when it's able to use the equipment, it's a significantly better pet, significantly more capable. If I open the pane again, note I still have my armor class and all my values, so it will stick for a little bit. But if I jump off a cliff or something and my pet goes away, all the values will disappear. If my pet dies and comes back, all the values are gone. Even though the equipment has not been removed and stays through death, like I believe is the designed intent, all the bonuses of it are gone. If I try to re-equip it, it literally won't let me put the offhand item back in the slot again. So there's some problems there. They need to get it fixed. Right now, it's definitely not working as intended, and I'm just hoping that they get it fixed. I really need to kind of grab this jute while I'm here. So it's a fun game. The crafting system I'll go into in a different game, or a different video, different game. Well, we'll just grab the one for right now. I don't want to take away from the video. I can always harvest later. But harvesting takes forever when you start out because your starter tools are really crappy and your skill set's pretty crappy. So initially, harvesting takes a long time. I am working on my harvesting. I am working on getting my second skills tool set, and it should be significantly faster after I get my second tool set. So now that I've got my pet, and as you guys can see, I still have all these stat bonuses on my pet. This guy wouldn't be hard anyway for my pet to kill, but just as an example, he takes very little damage from this guy. Sometimes these guys have a little bit of money and stuff on them. Sometimes they have statted pieces of gear. I usually will stop and kill them just for the chance they drop something decent. The reason I come down here is there's a bunch of these guys. There's usually also a bunch of skeletons walking around. Just gonna kill them with life draw real quick. So now let me do an experiment. So now watch. I'll dismiss my pet. I'll bring my pet back. I haven't tried this yet. We'll see what happens. Oh, now look, guys. All the benefits of the armor, of the stat items that I had, all of it's gone. The only thing that's the same is the fact that I have a six damage hammer that stayed. Everything else disappeared. Now watch. Let him attack this guy. Let's see how much damage he takes. Again, these guys are way smaller than my pet. I'm not expecting them to do much. But I think my pet took about twice as much damage from that little mob. Now, if I can find some skeletons out here and get some bone fragments, I can do this a few more times. I can show you guys an example, another example of this. So the main point of this video, for one, it's my first Pantheon Rise of the Fallen video. The second reason I'm doing this video is I want to show this bug very clearly. Because to me it's a pretty big bug and I don't know if anybody's seen it yet. And I think it's one that we need to look at. So I'm going to kill this guy again. Hopefully I can find some skeletons around here somewhere. Usually there's a few of them. But they may be all the way at the end of the map down here. A lot of forest foragers down here though. If you want to just come down here and collect, early on, if you just want to come down here and collect low level loot or a set of low level gear for your guy, this is not a bad thing to do. These guys will occasionally drop one pointed stat items, leather items typically, but all kinds, weapons, armor. So yeah, if you want to come down and just get a little bit of gear, that's a good place to do it. But these woods over here they're on the very northern end of the road here. Um, if you go through those gates over there, it doesn't go anywhere yet, I don't believe. Or it's blocked off. But this whole area of woods over here, and then on the left side as well, goes all the way around. There's all kinds of harvesting you can do over here. There's not very many mobs over here. Uh, there's like a lot of humanoid mobs, skeletons, and foragers over here. Um, if you just want to grab vegetables or jute or some really low level stuff, you just want to run around in a big area, you can do that in here. There's trees, there's not much ore over here, but anything else, if you need food, blackberries, vegetables, low level tailor stuff, jute. I don't think there's any cotton over here. It's all low level stuff, really low level stuff. Like this stuff's probably like 20% of my level. I mean, it's lowbie stuff. But I'm really just looking for some more bone fragments. There should also be some skeletons over here. Usually there's a few running around. This is where I've been coming to collect bone fragments. I could do it from the other skeletons too, up towards the town. There's a skeleton camp over there. There's some single pulls. The newbie zone has a bunch of crumblings walking around. Pretty much any skeleton will drop bone fragments. But sometimes I just like being in an area where there's not a ton of people. And for whatever reason, it looks like today there is not much. Now, there is a transition right here. Yeah, you can't go any further on this side. And eventually I'm sure this will be opened up into something else. But as of right now, there's just an invisible barrier there. Which is fine. We'll go to the other side, and there's usually more skeletons on the other side. More foragers over here. But you have this sprint mechanic in here. If you hold the shift button down, you run. And then as you run, you move like twice as fast, but you've only got so long to do it. Then you gotta kind of let up so you're not completely exhausting yourself, because then it takes longer because you can't go faster until your exhaustion comes off. It's a cool mechanic. I don't know if this wall will let me show it, but let's see if I can. Might have to be on the rocks to do it. Can I climb these? I can. So there's a cool climb mechanic in this game. My climb is actually really good. I could climb all the way up there and potentially hurt myself before I would fall. But yeah, if you want to climb cliffs or whatever, you can do that in this game to find different areas. Sometimes you can find like little chests around the map that have schematics and stuff in them. It just gives you another dimension to exploration and travel. Just got a little basic dagger on him. Nothing special, but I can vend it. Okay, so there we go. There's our first skeleton. There's usually a ton more over here. I might have to go further over, but we'll just hit him with a couple. Just one life tap. Like I said, I'm way over. Oh, he didn't even have any. He did not even have any Bone fragments. Okay, here's 2. So there's a bunch of skeletons over here for you young necromancers that need a bunch of skeletons and want to collect a few coppers and some jute and like I said, vegetables and stuff over here. You can do that. And yes, I do use my mouse. I don't need to use my mouse to move, but I do. I'm silly and old like that. I don't know if there's anything in this water. I've actually never been this over here. There's probably stuff that you can find along the walls and stuff over here too. I haven't been all the way back in there. I know you couldn't go anywhere through the gates. I kind of stopped there. Stopped there. That's what I prefer to find. Give me some bone fragments. I don't need the worn clubs and the daggers as much. But I am glad they drop them for the new players. When I started out, I got my first set of gear just killing these guys. So this area actually goes all the way around. And there's more skeletons and stuff over here. This is the second bridge, I think. And again, you can't go. You can go up to those gates, but they're blocked. This is an area where you're probably gonna eventually have new development go out from here. Oh. No bone fragments. Kill one more skeleton. I'm just gonna demonstrate what I'm talking about, and then we'll move on with it. Well, that was a pretty big crit. These guys are way lower level, but it's still crazy to see the big crits. That one did not have bone fragments. I really want to get one with bone fragments. There's one. There's one. Oh. So as you can see, getting a bunch of bone fragments is not always easy. These guys don't always drop them. He had a tooth. Okay, there's 2 more. That's probably good enough. So, now as you guys can see, my guy had, well, crap, I shouldn't have done that. Because when he comes back again, he won't have the gear. He'll have the gear on him, but it won't be doing anything. So we'll go ahead and summon him. I wasted a bone fragment. It's alright, I got 9. So he comes back. Oh, yep, no armor class, no nothing. Okay, so let's go back in here, open our bag. Was this one? Put everything in there again. I wanted to show you guys one more thing with this bug. We'll see if it happens or not. So he's out. Disappear. Bring him back. And I'm also testing this for myself. So let's put our gear back on. We should see our stat. Yep. There you go. 160 from that one piece. I got my block rating back. Put my belt on. That won't do anything. Put my shoulders on. Bracers. And one more strength from the club. Or the hammer. Okay, so now you guys can see I got all this gear on here. I'll show you a couple of things. I should have... Yes, okay. So I have this really good dagger. Well, where's that one that I had open that had... Where's that one that I had open that had no gear in it? Or there we go. Okay, so if I put the shield in here, once I take it off, well, now I want to equip a dagger. Can I do that? Okay, well, let me do that. And note, it gave me 5 dex and 5 agility. The first stat point gives you 5 for some reason. So now I have 5 dex and 5 agility. But if I go to attack, it still only shows me with 1 weapon attacking, 6 damage. I don't know if that's a bug or if the second weapon will actually attack alternately. It does apply the stat points, as you guys can see right there. I have 5 agility. My accuracy is 6%, which is terrible. My crit chance is 2. So, you know, it applied the stats. Now, if I take this off, I'm betting you I won't be able to put this shield on. Oh, wait, did my block rating come back? It did. Okay, so now it's working. Now it's working, whereas before when I took it off, I couldn't put it back on. So let's try one more thing. Now you guys can see I have all this gear on. You can see my guy. So if I go /stuck back to the place where I'm bound. Okay, my skeleton retained the gear. Let's do one more thing. I gotta go somewhere where he can't get to. So I have to summon him. Or not summon him, but... So I have to call him up to me. I have to get him to teleport. Let's go up here on this rock. Okay. Now he climbed with me that time. Alright. We're going to climb the rock. I can show you guys a little bit of the climbing mechanic, and once I get up here, we're going to see what my skeleton does. Yep, we're going to see if he can... Okay, so now I'm up top on this rock. Now he's zoned with me, and it appears he has all of his stuff. Let's see. Everything's still there. So, like I said before, it's buggy, guys. You guys saw earlier how when I took the gear off, or when I unsummoned him and brought him back, none of the gear was there again. I had to put it back on. Well, the same thing typically happens when this guy gets teleported. When they teleport him to a location. So let me see if I can do it. So if I jump down here, let's see. If I jump down and I sprint, he should teleport. Okay. I'm wondering if they just fixed it. I am really wondering if they just fixed it. Because I complained about this error yesterday. They hadn't done anything to fix it yet. So let's try one more thing. If I unsummon him, bring him back, does his gear now show up? Let's see. Nope, so that still doesn't work. So the hammer will stay, but all the benefits from everything else are gone. So the bug is still there. It's better. It's better because the teleportation doesn't seem to be doing it again. That's good. But the unsummon still does it. So my understanding is if your skeleton keeps the weapon on, then all this other stuff that's still equipped should be on too. And yeah, he's got 6 weapon damage, but that's the only thing that's stuck. None of my stat points stuck. None of it. So to me, it's still broken. They need to fix it. And now the problem is the other side of this is if I for example, oh, where's the bag? I open this bag. Now let's say I want to put the dagger on instead of the shield. The dagger goes in and it sees so they are fixing it. That didn't work before either. Before I could not put the shield back on. Now if I put the shield back on, oh, it's not gonna let me put a shield on, is it? No, it did. Okay. So let's test one more thing, guys. Let's try taking the gear off and putting it back on. So yeah, they have made improvements. They have obviously made improvements because before you could not even remove this stuff and put it back. They must have just fixed this. The unsummon thing, I can work around that. If I can put my gear back on my guy after I unsummon him and he comes back and I can get it to work, that's fine with me. Um, what I was seeing was what I showed you guys earlier. When you took the stuff off, you couldn't put it back on. So that was what I kind of wanted to show you guys today. A little bit of the Necromancer class, and then talk a little bit about that one bug. This is in early access right now, so there are quite a few of these little in-game bugs. They are working on fixing it, um, and it's a great game. It's an excellent game, even with the bugs. It's worth playing, guys. I've had more fun with this than I have with anything in the last 20 years. I'm really having a blast with it. So, if you like the video, give me a like. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. This is Grand Dungeon Dad signing out for today. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your day.